one of the things I was checking out is this shit here. You can see the title, Why Devs Consider Baldur's Gate 3 an Anomaly. Keep that word in mind. Not new standard for RPG genre. It's this dude, but a bunch of other people sounded off. Like a lot of people, I'm deeply excited about what the lovely folks at Larian accomplished with Baldur's Gate 3. Now notice this bit right here. But, now I was taught a long, long time ago, when somebody praises you or gives you a compliment and follows with but, none of this shit matters here. None of that. Oh, fuck. None of that matters. None of the stuff previous to but matters. You just pay attention to this. Because they're softening it up for you. You know what I mean? They're kind of softening it up. Anyway, but I want to gently, preemptively, those are still qualifiers to just try and make it seem like he's not saying what he's saying. Push back against players taking that excitement and using it to apply to criticism or a raised standard to RPGs going forward. And this is what the title of my stream was for. And obviously nobody showed up. That's okay. It's brand new. This is the thing. They don't want this to become the new thing. And he points out reasons why. Look at this long development cycle that started back in 2017. So it took a long time. It took a long time to make. And somehow that means that it's not a new standard. Like, games are only supposed to take a short amount of time. 2 previous games, Divinity, Original Sin 2, worth of tech and institutional knowledge to draw from. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. How long has Blizzard been making games? We're on Diablo 4. Diablo 4 now. They have 1, 2, and 3 to draw on. And that didn't make Diablo 4 any better. It sucks, dude. I'm sorry, but it just fucking sucks. Successful early access period lasting 3 years that provided Larian with community feedback. Now remember, these are the reasons why this isn't a new standard, is what they're saying. That's horseshit. That's a great way to do early access. Number 1, it lasted a super long time, so they didn't rush it. Number 2, this bit here. Community feedback. Community feedback. So for 3 years, they listened to the fucking community, and here you go. That's why you get a good product. Huge team of over 400 developers across 7 offices. I think that's a great thing. To be fair, that you could make that argument down the line that like some smaller companies wouldn't be able to pump this out if this were the new standard because they don't have 400 developers across 7 offices. But I would argue that the reason why it came out as good as it did has less to do with this and more to do with the first 3. And then the license for one of the largest entertainment IPs, Dungeons & Dragons. That's stupid. Blizzard doesn't have a license, but they have a huge, huge entertainment IP. World of Warcraft is huge. Bigger than Dungeons & Dragons. Well, Dungeons & Dragons has blown back up recently, the last couple years or whatever. But it's still, I would argue that World of Warcraft is just as big of an entertainment IP, whatever you want to call it. And their games fucking suck. They don't know what they're doing. I just want to keep reading. This is not a new baseline for RPGs. This is an anomaly, he noted. Adding that trying to reach the same bar without the same experience and advantages could kill an entire group. This is faux studios, but of studios. So I don't know what studios he's talking about. Because any studio that's trying to make a game like Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be a AAA studio that has plenty of money and all this other shit. What's going to kill them is if they suck at it. That's just it, period. Nelson Jr. called for celebrating Larian and everything the team likely managed to achieve, but see, there's that thing again. But here's this nice compliment, but he noted that people who think other devs now have no excuse if their RPGs don't look or feel like Baldur's Gate 3 are just creating the expectations and conditions to ensure your favorite creators may never be able to give you the thing you love ever again. So I'll push back on that. If their RPG doesn't look or feel like Baldur's Gate 3, nobody gives a shit if it looks or feels like Baldur's Gate 3. What we do care about is if it's as good as Baldur's Gate 3. And the reason I made this video, I don't play turn-based stuff ever. Ever, 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 ever. I'm screwing around on Steam, playing just random games. I bought Diablo 4. I fucking hated it. It was terrible. I saw it for what it was way before a bunch of other people did too. And a bunch of other people were saying this was good. The reviews were good. I read some of them. I figured, fuck it, I'll just throw the money on it. Who cares? I got the money. You're 10 minutes into this experience and you're already like, okay, this has got substance. This has got something I can sink my teeth into. Let's see where this goes. 6 hours into it, completely lost track of time, completely not followed through on my adult responsibilities like I should. 10, 12 hours into it, like, oh fuck, what time is it? 3 in the morning. I gotta go and see about my kid's new daycare tomorrow. I better go to bed. That kind of experience. I remember having that with World of Warcraft way back in the day, and to a lesser extent, Classic, when I first played, when Classic came back out. But that was different. That's the fresh hype. It was good, but it didn't quite do this. This sucked me in. Another thing that I haven't had since probably a little bit in Skyrim and Mass Effect is when you're making a decision in a game and you feel something. You actually feel something. Not up here, but you feel like that is a game that has drawn you in. That is a game that has drawn you into the story, the characters. Tons of games throw decisions at you, but you don't give a shit. You're just fucking mashing the button to get past whatever decision to like back to the gameplay, which is usually some cyclical, stupid shit. So the reason I think the industry is shook is, that's a kind of a clickbaity way to say it. The reason I think the industry is pushing back at this game is there's no microtransactions. There's none of this other shit that companies are getting away with now. Recycling stuff, pushing stuff out before it's ready, way before it, not doing a 3-year beta. Yeah. Or early access, pushing stuff out, and then, oh, you know, well, the next patch will fix it. The next patch will fix it. And then a year or two later, you have the game. At least these people had the good grace to just do the early access. Let's keep reading. Nelson Jr.'s thread went viral with many developers from AAA companies and India studios stepping in to support the main point. This whole thread, you can't be appalled about how much big games cost to make and make those lavish productions the standard by which all games are judged. I hope Baldur's Gate 3, she didn't put but in there, at least it didn't say but, I hope Baldur's Gate 3, same vibe. Let's see. Great thread. The conditions under which BG3 was made are atypical. This is in no way a slight against the game. So right here, if the conditions are fucking atypical, damn it, I keep doing that. If the conditions are atypical, right, and it made a great game, then maybe these fucking conditions should be atypical, right? Am I crazy? Like, if this made a great game, maybe that's the way it should. I don't know. I don't know why this bothered me so much. And then also, let's read this, dude. I have no idea who any of these people are. I'm assuming since they're commenting, they have some sort of connection to the industry. Also, frankly, even the concept of a baseline is a damaging concept. Games do not need to increase in size or technological complexity forever. That is just a narrative created by technology companies. If Larry wants to make a smaller game next time, then that should be fine. Now, this I kind of agree with. But I don't think that people are playing Baldur's Gate and thinking, wow, what a big game this is. It's, wow, what a fucking good game this is. And sometimes bigger, it can be better. You know, you want that feeling. It would be terrible to play Baldur's Gate for 15 hours, love it, and realize you're at the end and the world is just not big enough. So big is important, in a way. But, I mean, if they wanted to make a smaller game, you can still have a great game. I mean, I've been playing Vampire Survivors like there's no tomorrow. It's small, there's not much, but it's addicting. It's a well-made game. You know what I mean? For what it is, it accomplishes its goal. Let's see what else. Felipe Pepe, editor of the CRPG book project, compared the situation around BG3 to what BioWare did with Baldur's Gate 2. Equipped with the engine and the right team, the studio spent 2 years crunching and made one of the biggest RPGs ever. What's interesting is that this is basically what Baldur's Gate 2 did. They had an engine. Just remember, it has 17 companions, each with their own quests, 4 romances, and a ton of side quests. Yeah. Diablo 4. Oh, I gotta read this. I haven't read this yet, but this has got to be good. Diablo 4 senior designer Chris Baldurs, piece of shit, also agreed with Nelson Jr., saying that it is important to remember that not all studios operate under the same conditions. He compared Baldur's Gate 3 to Ultima 7, the favorite RPG of Larian founders Sven Vink. I'm going to butcher that. I'm not even going to try and say that. That's a game that had 12 years of prior games feeding into it. You're absolutely right. Even if you look at one of Vinke's touchstones, Ultima 7, that's a game that had 12 years of prior games feeding into it. If we were to look at this as a new benchmark, we would need to then focus on creating conditions, just like with TikTok. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. How long? What about Diablo? How long has Diablo been out? Right? How many prior games Diablo? I don't know, but a long fucking time. And this is the dude who made Diablo 4. So why isn't your game awesome? But people too often only look at the fruits of labor and not the labor itself. Same as it ever was, I guess. Same deal with people wondering why there's so few artists painting like Renaissance masters. Ugh. This dude is mad his game fucking sucks. And to be fair, his game probably doesn't suck because of him. I was joking when I said piece of shit. His game probably sucks because Blizzard sucks, because Activision sucks, because they don't care. They're not going to listen when someone says, look, we need a 3-year open beta. We need to take years and years. They just want money now. We want the game out now because we want more microtransactions. We want more cosmetics. We want shareholder blah, 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 fuckity fuck, just the wrong thing, all the wrong things in the industry. And this whole stupid bunch of tweets or whatever are a perfect example of that. It's bullshit. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game. It's a great game. I'm going to continue to play it, obviously. But even if I didn't, I could see that it's a great game. Go play Diablo 4 if you like it. That's great. If you like Diablo 4, play Diablo 4. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you play Diablo 4, jump over and try this out. Even if it's not your kind of game. And just see if you don't notice the difference. Go in with an open mind and see if you just can't tell the difference. This isn't my style of game, and it didn't take very long before you're like, fuck, this is what a game should look like. This is what companies need to go back to doing, is this. They need to go back to doing whatever it is that created Baldur's Gate 3. More companies should create that environment, because that's why we got Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to quit ranting, because I've been going on a rant, and I want to get back to playing fucking Baldur's Gate 3, so let's get into it. But I just had to focus on that, because this, I can't remember even where I read this, but it just bothered the shit out of me. And Diablo 4 is going to fall apart. It just is. They're going to do the same thing Blizzard has done for years and years and years, patches and seasons and things to kind of hook the people in who are addicted, who've been, shooting up Blizzard for the last 12 years. But it's not going to be this experience. You want a steak, or do you want McDonald's? You want McDonald's? Go play Diablo 4. You want a steak? This is a fucking steak with a beer and I don't know, a real nice dessert. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get back into it.